Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I want to show you how to create a lace design. I'm going to start with preparing the color that I'm going to apply. I already prepared the background for my designs and I applied a cover number 2 color from Crystal Nails and I cured it in a lamp for 1 minute. So the color that I'm going to be using, the product that I'm going to be using is the Ornament Gel White, and we're also going to need a Cool Top gel and Matte Ever gel. So first of all I'm going to apply a small amount of Cool Top on my palette. And I'm going to mix a tiny amount of Ornament White gel into my Cool Top. I want to create a semi-transparent white color. So mix it very well. And after you mix it, check the color. It's easy to check it on your black glove. It needs to be a semi-transparent white. If you need to add a little bit more white to it, pick up a little bit more and mix a little bit more into it. And once you mix it, check again if you're happy with the color. It needs to have a little bit of coverage, but like I said, it still needs to be semi-transparent. So I'm going to use two different brushes for this technique. First brush is Barbara 2, which has natural hair, pointy bristles, and the other one is Zero Long, so really long, thin bristles. So I'm going to start with my Barbara brush. And I'm going to pick up some of my mixture and apply it on the surface. I'm going to create this kind of shape. Try to apply it evenly. Don't worry if it's a little bit patchy because we will still be covering it with lines, but try to apply it as evenly as you can. Okay, and once that's ready, let's cure it in a lamp for a minute. Okay, once this is cured, we're going to use ornament gel. I'm going to pick a small amount from my pot and transfer it onto my palette. And now I'm using Zero Long brush and I just need very tiny amount on my brush because I'm going to create lines on the surface of this tip. This brush is perfect for nice and thin lines. Make sure you have very small amount of product on your brush to be able to create thin lines. And we cover the entire surface. Okay, once you finish doing the lines this way, now we're going to create lines crossing over. Make sure to keep the distances between the lines the same. Okay, and once that's ready, let's cure it in a lamp again for 1 minute. Once my lines are cured, we are going to cover the tip in matte Evertop. And we cure it again for 1 minute. So I will be using both brushes for this design. I will be using the Barbara brush with thicker bristles for the thicker element and the Zero long brush for the thinner and smaller elements. I continue using my ornament white gel. So now my tip is ready, it's cured, we can start our design. So we pick up a little bit of ornament gel on our Barbara brush. We just need a small amount on the tip of the brush, we don't want too much product. And we're going to start from the tip, from this pointy bit. So we put the brush down and press it a little bit and create a curly shape. Then go back into the gel, pick up a little bit more and add another bit to it. Now I'm going to create the same on the other side, as I want this design to be symmetrical. Just like this. Now I'm going to swap to my Zero long brush. I'm going to pick up a little product on my Zero long and I'm going to continue adding more elements. These elements will be a little bit thinner, that's why I need to use a smaller brush. And I continue working on both sides to make sure that my design will be symmetrical. And I can also pull these to be a little bit longer. It's really easy to do it with the Zero long brush rather than the bigger brush, rather than the Barbara brush. Okay, so these first elements are done. Now I'm going to pick up my Barbara brush again and I'm going to continue adding more elements and bigger elements. So when I work with my Barbara brush, I make sure I press a little bit to create almost a little bit semi-transparent kind of effect. If you don't press enough, you will just end up with having just a full kind of coverage element. And I work on both sides of my design to make sure that I create the same size and create the same shape. Now I go back to my Zero long again and make these elements a little bit more pointy again. And I'm adding an extra line on top of my previous element, so it's a little bit more visible. And I just have a little bit more space left on my tip, so I'm going to fill it with extra elements. And I'm adding just a few small ones just to fill the gaps. And now I'm checking if I'm happy with everywhere, or do I need to correct anything before I cure it. I can change the shape before I cure it. I can make these lines a little bit longer or a little bit more pointy. Or I can also add a little bit of product and make it a little bit more 3D if I want to. Ornament gel is actually so good for this because it cures very well, even if the elements are a little bit more 3D. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I'm going to cure it in a lamp. Okay, so my first design is now ready. If you decide you would like your elements to be a little bit more 3D, you can even add second layer to it. But I'm going to leave it just like this. Okay, let's move on to the second design. With the second design, I continue using exactly the same products. I just want to do a different shape. So I start with painting the top part of my tip. So I use my mixture of cool top and white. And again I create like a pointy shape. Same as before, it doesn't have to be perfect because we will cover it with lines. Just make sure that the shape is nice and symmetrical. Okay, and once it's ready, we can pop it into the lamp. Okay, so this is now cured. Let's paint the lines on top of it. And now the lines crossing over. And just before I cure it, I pick up my decoration needle, and with my dotting tool end, I'm going to add a few dots on the surface, just in a few random places. And now we can cure it in the lamp. Once it's cured, again we are covering it with the matte Ever top coat. If you prefer, you can use shiny top coat too. And now this is cured and we can start painting our design. So first of all I start with my Barbara 2 brush. Pick up small amount of product and paint one element to the side and then to the other side. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger and add another side to it. And now pick up 0 long brush and make it more pointy. Next, we pick up the 0 long brush and we're going to add other elements to the design. So I leave a tiny gap between these two elements and add a curvy element on each side. And now I go back to my Barbara brush and I add another bigger element. And the same on the other side. And now I go back to my 0 long again. And I change the shape by making it more pointy. And now I'm going to add some extra small elements just to fill the gaps. And again we're going to paint an element on the top. This one is almost like a leaf shape. Goes in the middle, we pull a point and add tiny drop shapes on sides. Now I'm checking if I'm happy with everything, if anything needs correcting before I put it into the lamp. And once I'm happy, I can cure it in the lamp. 1 to 2 minutes curing time. Now both designs are ready. You can see the technique is exactly the same, but I just used a different layout. You can use this kind of design for wedding nails, but not just wedding nails. I think you will find that there is many people that like this kind of soft, delicate designs, lacy, with like lacy finish to it. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this video and you're going to recreate the designs. If you decide to recreate, don't forget to tag me in your pictures on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos from me. Thank you, bye bye.